Test, 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 test. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moltrap here, coming at you with a complaint and a compliment on the StarCraft 2 client. By the way, this is a game between Hasu and ClouD, and I'll get to them in just a moment. But I've just been noticing that, first of all, it's a little kind of cool thing about watching replays in StarCraft 2 is that when you restart the replay, when you drag the well, you can't see it because I'm going to recover the replay bar, but when you drag the replay bar back to the beginning, it starts over the music too, so I can do some testing, make sure the recording is working, and then drag it back to the beginning of the replay, and it starts the music over, so it's nice, fresh musical score. The complaint I have is that, unfortunately, when you're doing... This one is the new patch. This is from... this is a game from a recent tournament in Europe called EPS. It's an ESL thing, and anyway, but yeah, when you're watching a replay in an older patch, you have to restart into the old version, and if you're watching like more than one game in the old patch, then it makes you log out of the replay, restart StarCraft, log into the new version of StarCraft, go to your replay section, and then log back out to restart the old version of StarCraft again to watch the next old replay. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, let's get on to this game though. This is Hasu versus ClouD, and Hasu, also known as Hasu Obs, by the way, is a Warcraft 3 player, a very big Warcraft 3 player. He switched to StarCraft 2. He's now basically pro StarCraft 2 for obviously the Moose clan or the Mouse clan. ClouD, on the other hand, again, a very prominent player, but this time he was a prominent Brood War player. He was on the short list of players, actually, that was in the running to go to Korea to play on Istra, which Nooney ended up taking up that spot. Well, there was a potential for more than one person to go, but Nooney ended up going instead of ClouD, since Nooney beat ClouD 3-2 in the finals of that tournament. That was kind of to determine who could go. Anyway, regardless, he's done very well in the past in Brood War, and now he's part of the MYM clan playing StarCraft 2. So it should be a very exciting game. I know this is a best of. I'm going to do the whole series. To be honest with you, I have no idea even what it is a best of. Didn't really have time to do a lot of research and find out more about this series, other than the fact that I found it on replay site, it looked sweet, and I'm like, hey, two good players, I'll just go ahead and cast it. So apologies for the lack of background. I do try and at least find out a little bit of information about where the games come from. By the way, I previously mentioned that I was trying not to do games that had been professionally casted, and unfortunately there's just so many games out from so many tournaments right now that I think I'm going to start doing, and you can let me know what you feel about this, but I think I'm going to start doing games from these other tournaments like EPS or that kind of thing that aren't professionally done. I'm not going to cast any GSL games or anything like that. But I think I might start casting some other games like this, obviously. Just because there's no other way to get replays oftentimes. The Reaper is out, by the way, for ClouD. He's going to come over here around. There is a pylon has just been put up to spot this. He's going to see these two stalkers are inbound, are going to pick off that Reaper very quickly. No damage done at all. And he's been chrono boosting his warp gate technology, so warp gates are already up. He's going to warp in these two gates. He's going to be able to start putting out units a little bit faster. It looks like ClouD just going for a pretty normal, well, actually, usually you see them getting a second barracks and putting out a few more units before going for the expansion, but he's gotten the expansion up very early, and Hasu getting his expansion up as well relatively quickly. He's been chrono boosting previously to the warp gate technology. We saw him chrono boosting out lots of probes. In fact, let's just go ahead and check that. Yeah, he's been chrono boosting out a lot of probes. He's at 28 harvesters right now. Almost full saturation for this base, and then he's going to get this expansion up and start saturating that as well. So he's spending a lot of money on putting those units out, and ClouD's doing the same thing over here as well. Anyway, Factor going down now. Bunker at the top of the ramp. That's kind of interesting. He doesn't know what to expect right now. He got that SV in there. He saw the two gateways. He didn't know if he was going to put down more gateways or not when he started getting this expansion. And I like this. He doesn't quite feel secure moving out just yet. Although now he's spotted this expansion, he's got to suspect that there's going to be less less out there than he needs to worry about. Although not too many forces actually, only a few Marines, a handful of Marines, and one Marauder. I don't think they would be able to take on six Stalkers if they were microed properly. So I guess it makes a little bit of sense, especially with more units warping in to reinforce. So it makes sense that he's being a little bit. That's kind of interesting. He's got a wall set up now with his orbital command. He floated it over here. Very interesting move there. I guess he's, like I said, he doesn't feel comfortable moving out just yet. He's going to wait to get some more units out. And did I miss something? No, I didn't. Okay, so Factory's going to come in here and spot. I like this move. He's just going to float it through. Factory has a significant amount of health. These Stalkers, however, are going to really start pouncing on that Factory. They're going to take it out pretty quick and get it into burning pretty fast. Nothing out of this starport yet. He's got the starport on the tech lab, which he used the Factory to make that tech lab, and then floated the starport onto it, and then didn't do anything with it. So it looked like he was going for some kind of a Banshee rush, but he decided not to. He also might have just gotten that in order to get a Raven out if necessary. If he saw, you know, a Dark Shrine up or something like that. But he spotted the Robotech instead, so he knows that there's no chance of early cloaked units coming out. Decided to just put down his expansion after all, getting some turrets up instead. Turrets just handy to have around, just in case of DTs, and also just in case of some kind of a Void Ray thing. Phoenixes, any kind of harassment along those lines. Although, again, he spotted the Robotech and he spotted the expansion, so he can be fairly sure that there won't be anything along those lines. Observer trying to get out of the way here. He sees this force moving out. He's also got the watchtower, so he's, well, not for long, but he's going to see this army kind of moving out. Again, I think Hasu has plenty of forces to deal with this. He's got a significant group there, especially there's no excuse me, no medevacs. And there's the Raven coming out now. And now he's going to switch it over to a reactor. I like that move. You only need the tech lab really for Raven or Banshee. And at this point, with observers out and so many Stalkers out, Banshees would be completely pointless. Well, they would have been pointless a while ago anyway. But yeah, so doesn't make sense to go for the Banshee. The Raven, handy to have around though. Just again in case of DTs, but more so they're just handy units to have. If you can get up the 100 energy for a point defense drone, it could be so effective in protecting your army. That's going to block the shots of the Stalkers. So basically, I think it's like it takes what is it? 10. Each shot consumes 10 energy. I think it's the it's going to take like 10 or 15 or 20 shots from Stalkers or something like that, with a total energy. I forgot how much total energy it has. But anyway, point defense drone can be very effective. But the first Colossus is out now. That has just nullified any chance of this army really being super effective in coming in and doing a rush and you know, and countering that, because the Colossus is going to be able to do so much damage from behind. Excuse me, Thermal Lance being upgraded as well to get that range. Very, very important if you're going to go for more than one Colossus, which he probably is. Oh, there's the second Colossus out as well. So yeah, he's just going to mass Colossi, and here's the counter to it, is the Terrans end up getting Vikings to go along with it. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's just killing the Manx statue. Getting some Vikings to go along with it, and that's why he put down the reactor there earlier, is to get out Vikings as quickly as possible. He's just now producing them. He made a medevac earlier. Just handy to have at least one medevac around, just to heal up your troops that may have taken damage, especially if you've stimmed. I don't think he stimmed in any of the battles before. But anyway, so you try and run in with the Vikings to kill off the Colossi as quickly as possible. I don't think 2 Vikings is quite enough to do it. Luckily, he's producing well, at least one more Viking. But I think he's probably going to need more Vikings than that to take out the Colossi with so many Stalkers. Well, actually, there's a lot of Zealots in there, so he might do okay. Uh-oh, are we going to see some kind of a blink action up the ramp? No, he's just going to move the Colossi up, try and attack these bases over here with the Colossi. ClouD going in here to try and engage that army. He's got the Raven, so he takes out the observer very quickly with those Vikings, just massing up a massive army here. And once he gets a couple more Colossi, though, there's a third Colossus going into the mix now. If he gets 4 or 5 Colossi, it's just going to be so huge. Such amount of damage is going to be dealt to this bio army. The Marauders are going to be able to stand up to it a little bit better with just these 3 Vikings. That I don't think he's going to be able to kill off those Colossi quickly enough. He's adding on a couple more Vikings, and once he gets 5 or 6 Vikings, that'll be enough that he can really go in there and attack those Colossi. But again, it becomes kind of a back and forth thing where the Vikings try and go in and hit the Colossus. The Colossus have the range upgrade now, so they can stay back a little bit behind the wall of units, so the Stalkers can engage the Vikings. And is he going to take advantage of the fact the Stalkers are all over here killing off that factory? Is he going to bring those back? It looks like he's going to bring them back. I don't know if he knows that he's going to bring them back, but either way, he knows. Hasu knows that this army is coming. He's got 5 Vikings now, but he's going to turn back. I don't know if he comstatted perhaps and saw that his army had rejoined up. That would have been a pretty good opportunity to run in there with the Stalkers distracted over here. Oh my gosh, he could have just ran his Viking. In fact, that's what he should have done, is just run his Vikings in alone and killed off these Colossi above the head of the the Zealots. Lots and lots and lots of Marauders in here. +2 weapons, by the way, on these ground units. Only +1 weapons for the Protoss units right now, and he's going around the side here. This is exactly what I was thinking he should do, is go over and attack this third base, somewhat vulnerable, but oh, look at this, Hasu moving out at the same time, looking to engage, and these forces are going to find those. He's just moving to reinforce his army with his new reinforcements, but they're going to find this huge army coming, and now both players have to make a decision if they're going to go back or not, and Hasu is the one that decides to fall back. In the meantime, his base is definitely going to go down. There's no way he's going to save that base, but he's going to try and come back here and hold off this army. In the meantime, he's regrouping next to his natural expansion. His Zealot's a little bit behind, and it looks like ClouD is just going to fall back, having killed off that expansion. He's not going to engage right now, but he may be forced to engage. His forces are running the long way around here. I apologize for the FPS issues. For some reason, it's lagging a little bit. I might have to turn the graphics down. And look at this, trying to set up a high yield over here. It's just going to just get in the way of this army, but he decides to go in after all and engage in this larger area. The Vikings going and attacking, force firing down the Colossi. 2 Colossi go down. The third one is about to go down as well, and the Colossi are doing a lot of damage, but not quite enough. And wow, only the Phoenixes escape from that battle, and this is really not a good situation at all. He used the Phoenixes to pick up just a few units in the front. I think they would have been better off engaging the Vikings in that case to try and hold the Vikings off of the Colossus. Vikings going in are going to absolutely destroy that last Colossus, and this is going to be it for Hasu Obs. Hasu GG's with a large bio army in his natural expansion. Nicely done. And very interesting that he just chose to kind of turn and engage right over here. Planted to, I didn't even see that. He planted down a point defense drone. That must have helped in the battle as well against all those Stalkers, especially protecting the sorry, the Vikings. But yeah, generally you want to have those, from what I understand, you want to have those Phoenixes engaging the Vikings so that the Vikings can't focus fire the Colossi as easily, and instead he used the graviton beams and just lifted up a few units. Would have been much better off, I think, to have those Colossuses just killing off the units. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'm going to move on to Game 2. ClouD's going to be up 1-0 in the series. GG.